I'm recording now. We are officially recording. Uh,
Yeah. Awkward.
it's super awkward. Jesus Christ. And all right,
You want to lead? You want to lead off?
sure. Jeff, Cyberpunk 2077. The
What
best
about it?
game, the best game ever, or the biggest pile of hot garbage in the last 2077 years.
Well, I haven't played it. I haven't purchased it. The only thing I've really seen of the game is watching you play on Twitch.
Sorry.
So I think that the better question would be for you. Now that GameStop is offering full refunds, calling it a quote unquote defective game, what do you think? Is it defective? Are you returning it? Are you keeping it? Like, what's going on?
So it's defective, 100% defective. We're gonna get into it a little bit. I'm gonna show everybody what we got going. First topic of the day: Cyberpunk 2077. Jeff, my game file got corrupted. 10 hours in, game file got
Oh
corrupted.
no!
So all my progress got lost. What I did was, this is what I did. I wrote to Steam and I said, Steam, my game file got corrupted. Give me my money back. And they gave me my money back. Surprising. I
No
was very
way.
I was
So
very surprised.
are you officially done with Cyberpunk 2077? Is it a wrap? Like, are you not playing anymore? No plans on going back?
Jeff, look at this news story, dude. GameStop. GameStop is offering full refunds, dude. If they are out here giving their hard-earned money back, everybody should, dude. Everybody should. Cyberpunk 77 returns, even if the game has been open. According to reports from employees, Cyberpunk 2077 launched in a sorry state on consoles. Imagine you work for 8 years, right? You're busting your ass, Jeff, on this game that you love. It's your blood, sweat, and tears, and then you go to ScreenRant.com and they say that it was a sorry state.
Hmm.
These people, I feel for their mental health.
I can understand people wanting to return the game, but I'm also, and maybe I'm being optimistic here, but I'm also thinking like, maybe we could give them a little time and see if they patch it and fix. I mean, they've already come out, right? They've come out and apologized, and they've acknowledged that like there's a ton of glitches and errors. Like, is the game unplayable to the point that like you can't enjoy it right now at all? Like it's in other words, like if they update it with patches and bugs, fixes, and everything like that, like would it be a fantastic gaming experience? I guess that's my question.
Jeff, the game is a bug-filled mess. There were parts of the game that are just unplayable, and some of the earlier consoles like PlayStation 4 and Xbox, um, it's like a muddled graphical mess. It's not living up to what they said. It's so bad that I want to get your take on this too. Their investors are trying to sue them for false promises. This is a
Uh
big deal, dude. Big deal. I'm right there with you. Like, I think that the majority of people who wanted to play this game are a little pissed off, and we can get into how many times it's been delayed in the 8 years. We can get into the execs pushing it out and the fan base like angry at them. Why are you delaying the game? Why are you delaying the game? And then the next week it's like, why did you release an unfinished game?
you
That's
know
what
what this
happened.
reminds me of? This kind
What?
of reminds me of like how a lot of retro gamers, and I would throw ourselves in that category of retro gamers. You kind of yearn for the days when there wasn't the possibility of patching or updating, right? So the games that you got, for the most part, and there were certainly games released with bugs, like there's a famous like Atari ET game, right? That was like you couldn't beat. But for the most part, game developers, when they released a product, it was much more of a polished product than what you're getting now.
Yep.
Because you're dealing with situations with Cyberpunk 2077 where you're waiting for the patch or the update to fix this game that is littered with errors and omissions. So Um, I think it's kind of interesting. And on the flip side of that, it's also really cool now that you can have DLC and have games adjusted on the fly by the developers. But it bites the gamer in this type of situation where you spend what, $60? Is that what you paid for Cyberpunk?
Yeah, 59.99 plus
Yeah,
tax.
so
Don't forget the
so you
tax. This is
spend
America.
right. Well, you can't forget that. But you spend that amount of money, and then you pour 10 hours into the game, right? And then the
Mhm.
save file gets corrupted.
Yep. You want to hear why the save file gets corrupted, Jeff? If you
Sure.
put too many items, if you're holding too many items, if you craft too many items, if you play the game too well, it breaks.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm 100% surprised that you could play the game so well that it broke.
Oh, I
Like
cheated.
this,
No, no,
this
no. I
is
got the
not
PC version and I cheated and I got a bunch
okay.
of items in my game and it crashed it. But listen, that's besides the point, Jeff. We could talk about this. This boils my blood. It's crazy. I guess the last thing we should touch on with this is I don't know if you know, Sony pulled the game off its shelves digitally. You
Oh
can't
wow,
even buy the game.
I
Sony
didn't know that.
so this is a big deal. It's not just people complaining. Or maybe it was so many people, it turned into this thing where everybody's so upset and we're all just being, you know, that they're reacting to it. I believe Xbox pulled it from their shelves as well. I could be wrong. I'm not gonna Google it, even though I have Google right in front of me. I'm just lazy. Do it yourself, people. Uh, this game's a piece of crap. It'll get better eventually, hopefully,
How
maybe.
how dare they put dirt on Keanu Reeves's lovely name?
We're
You
gonna
know
get a
what I
lot of
mean?
hate for this. I feel like, but you know what? It has to be said, dude. Like the game's a piece of shit.
That's not
Piece.
Keanu's fault.
No, he was a breath of fresh air in that game. He came out with his metal arm. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" It's so funny the way he's actually in the game, though. I'm not gonna spoiler it up. I'm not gonna do it. But yeah, fun stuff. No, fun stuff. But we're gonna get to the last bit that we're gonna talk about today, Jeff. And this is something first time we're actually ever doing on the channel. It's a little bit of it's a rumor. It's industry news
What did you hear?
about
Who was
games.
whispering sweet nothings into your ear? What did you hear?
Nobody's whispering anything. I'm just looking on websites and I'm following the trails. I'm following the
Tragic.
trails. Uh I'm like modern day Hansel. You're Gretel. We're following the trails back to gaming news. I'm gonna delete that. That's not a thing. Uh GTA 6 release dates, news and rumors, dude. So we got a couple cool things. Apparently there's supposed to be we're gonna keep this fast and loose, and as more news comes, I'm gonna put a Google alert out. So hopefully, if anything gets mentioned, it'll come straight to my email, and we can talk about it some more. Uh, Apparently, what is it? March. Let's see. GTA 6 might not have been announced, but the success of GTA Online and previous game installments, you know that Rockstar's planning something. Jeff, if you don't know this, Grand Theft Auto 5 came out years and years and years and years ago. It's the
It
only
did?
game I know of that's on multiple platforms on the PlayStation 3, 4, 5, right? It's
Mm.
on the Xbox, it's on the computer, right? So we got a couple cool things that happened. According to Kotaku, a new entry in Grand Theft Auto series is in early development as of April 2020. So they are working on the successor, which is great. Uh, they're
Are you
gonna
gonna buy it for your Nintendo Switch?
no, I'm I'm not. But check this out, dude. They're remastering GTA 5 for PS5, dude. That's how profitable that game is. That they're remastering GTA 5
That's awesome.
for PS5. That's
I
crazy.
still haven't played it, but the fact that that game has that much of a lifespan and that they're doing that for the new console, I think that says a ton about Grand Theft Auto 5. Rockstar, they what can you say, man? Like they release fantastic open world games.
And they monopolized their money. I mean, their game like a lot. The how much money they sell in shark bucks in that game? It's insane. So we're gonna rapid fire these. I want to know what you think. Uh, the new game has been in production since 2012. That means simultaneously they've been updating the old game and working on the new game, which is great. The code name is Project Americas, which is
Oh, I
interesting.
like that.
We don't know what that means, but it sounds sexy. The game's supposed to be set in Vice City and a place based off of Rio de Janeiro. That kind of reminds me of the game was Driver, that was based off of, was it in Cuba? Remember the old game Driver for the PS1?
The first one?
I think it was maybe Driver. I don't know. I'm getting off topic. Okay,
Yeah.
so Vice City to me, I think the guy was like Italian or something, right? It was like mob influenced, and they kind of touched on the Scarface thing. But Rio de Janeiro to me is an ethnic background that they haven't really touched on, because even Grand Theft Auto 3 was all the Italian mob stuff. Remember, like with Luigi and all that fun shit.
I haven't played any of them since Vice City.
Okay, well,
That's the last one I got into. So I'm gonna take your word for it.
Grand Theft
But
Auto 3.
that is exciting. A new Grand Theft Auto game, potentially a new location, right? Rio de Janeiro. It I don't know. Like, how could you not be excited for that? If you're a PlayStation 5 owner, that's definitely one that like I'm marking on my calendar, right?
Dude, it's insane. And it gets better as we keep reading this. Look at this. It's set in the 1970s, 1980s, which is going to be crazy. What else here? You play as an up and coming drug lord wannabe named Ricardo, right? Another character named Casey is part of the narrative. You start off as a grunt doing drug runs, cocaine smuggling. Dude, this is quality family fun. Anybody can play this. Okay?
A stocking stuffer for sure for all the kiddies.
Yeah.
Next year, I did see on there that they're going to have music right from the 70s and 80s soundtrack. That was one of my favorite things about Vice City was the soundtrack was phenomenal, and it had obviously an 80s, because that's when it took place. It had an 80s vibe to it. It was a bunch of 80s tracks. That's fantastic. I'm very curious as to what music they're going to put on the game.
I wonder if they have any callbacks to Laszlo, because Laszlo is like some of the best part of the GTA radio experience, right? So maybe it's like Laszlo's dad or something. That'd be cool. Weather is heavy focused. I'm not sure what that. I mean, maybe down there, there's hurricanes. That'd be cool. Buildings change over the eras, so that tells me that they might like progress a couple years into the story. That could be awesome. The games, the game. There's so much stuff here. We'll leave the link. We'll leave the link in the description.
Yeah.
But apparently this is supposed to be loosely based off of kind of like Narcos, Pablo Escobar stuff. Jeff, that's friggin' awesome. I'm excited.
I'm in.
I
don't even have a PlayStation 5 yet, and I'm in. I want to play it. It sounds fun.
All right, we've got a little bit long here, man. Let's head out, guys. Don't forget, if you haven't already, head over to our Twitch channel. We stream every Monday and Friday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. We're a co-op retro channel. We love to play your favorite games that you played growing up. Myself starts the stream at about 7:30. Jeff joins in about 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. And then we keep going throughout the night. We're coast to coast video game players. And then we'll see you next week for the next installment of our Bad at News segment thing, podcast. We'll figure it out.
Bye, guys.
Peace.